Hello everyone, the topic I want to introduce today is histological findings of sperm storage in green turtle organism. And we all know that the green turtle is on the red list or as endangered. So it is important that we to understand their reproductive mechanism. It can help us to find out a more efficient way to conserve them. And the green turtle is the seasonal breeder. Each year they will migrate from their breeding habitat to the Honshu coastal to the Ogasawara island to mate. And you can see they mating from March to May, and the nesting on early May to the late September. So the time lag between mating and the nesting is average 2 to 3 months. So the oviduct is combined of 4 parts. The first part is the infundibulum, which part is receive the yolk to the oviduct. And the next part is the magnum. And the magnum, it is a larger part of the oviduct, and the yolk will receive the protein to wrap on the yolk. And the next part is isthmus. It is connect to the magnum and the uterus, and this part is thinner than the magnum. And the last part is the uterus. Our yolk will receive the eggshell in this part. And this figure is the green turtle's oviduct. You can see here is vagina, and here is uterus, isthmus, magnum, and infundibulum. So it is a single tube. And this figure is the more closer figure of infundibulum. You can see it is connected to the magnum. And this figure is the isthmus. It is connected to the magnum and the uterus. And you can see the magnum and the uterus is bigger and thicker than the isthmus. And the last figure is the uterus and the vagina. And this symbol means it is a transition area of uterus and the vagina. And the uterus have a large fold on his wall. And in this extent, we use 3 female green turtle and 1 epidermis of the male turtle to observe the sperm condition. And each female green turtle, her body length, body weight, and his weight is shown on this table. And we divided the oviduct into 5 parts of 0.35, and we divided the oviduct of 0.24 and 0.28 into the 4 parts to observe them. And after we hydrated our sample, we will use the electron microscopy to take the picture of the sample. Like, for example, it is the picture from the epidermis, and this is a sperm. The pink area is the sperm's head, and the yellow area is the sperm's tail. And let's see the figure of the sample from the ID 035. These 2 arrows all point out in the gland assigned a blue area. And let's see what is in this blue area. It is the same area, but it's under microscopy picture. And it is under the epithelium. The epithelium is the isthmus inner surface. And let's look closer in this square. You can see in this square, it is a lumen. The lumen is the inner space of the space is hollow. And these 5 arrows all point out the sperm. So we can know the ID035 in her isthmus, they have plenty of sperm. And this figure is from ID024. You can see in the black dot, this one is plenty of sperm. And this picture is from ID028. The ID028 is captured during the mating. So you can see in the inner surface epithelium of the isthmus, there are plenty of blue sperm, like arrow point out. And we also find in ID035 the transition area between the uterus and vagina. In this part, the gland duct also has some sperm. So after all, we can have this table. This table shows that the isthmus, the dash means there are no sperm, and the 1 plus means there are some sperm, and the double plus means there are plenty of sperm in the gland, and the ND means it is not determined. So the result, we can know the isthmus and the vagina and the uterus transition area, we found the sperm. So the discussion is the isthmus and the transition area, we all found the sperm, so it may be the potential area the green turtles storage the sperm. And we think it may be there are more gland ducts to let the sperm go inside. And we know after the mating, some green turtle is raised by the human. They only take 5 weeks can lay the first clutch of the egg. But in the wild, they take about 2 to 3 months. They have first clutch. And after all, and then the wild green turtle will lay 4 times in total, and the interval is average 2 weeks. So the whole series, the whole time is about 4 to 5 months. We think that the sperm can be stored at least 4 to 5 months, and that is what exactly the time the sperm can be stored is our next proposal. And thank you for your listening.
You use a lot of image, and that is easier to know where you are talking, and you add the right discussion slides this time, which is good. But I think you should separate the conclusion and your future proposal in 2 slides.
I think the pictures are well guided with the human's futures, which we have none, and your presentation is quite slow. I think it is really good, but there are a few stammers in the talk. And overall, the talk is nice.
And some suggestion for briefing: when the background is dark, try to use bright color words. And in your next slide, you use dark word and dark background. And when introducing the organization, it is recommended to use some keyword on your slide, or people will losing your introduction. And in final slide, use a fluent table fluent table to make a discussion, but how can you make a conclusion table?
I think you can type the full name beside some abbreviation, because some of the abbreviation still did not have the full name beside it. And I think you can type some short sentences to help you won't forget what you are talking about.